Hi, ladies and gents, this is bout number 10 of this evening's show. Sponsored by Eric Skier, it's an amateur lightweight bout. Introducing your fighters, first of all, in the blue corner. He stands at 6 foot tall. He's an MMA record of 2 wins, 1 loss, and no draws. From England, representing Tap Out Knockout. He weighed in at 70.4 kilograms. Please put your hands together for Tom Johnston. Facing him across the cage is his opponent in the red corner. He stands at 5 foot 9 inches tall. He's an MMA record of 2 wins, no losses, and no draws. From England, representing MTK Newcastle. He weighed in at 70.1 kilograms. Please put your hands together for Stevie Lee. We're scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your referee, Phil DeFries. The action is about to begin.
3 3-minute rounds should we need them, but I'm calling this now. Expect fireworks from the very first bell between these two. Looking like we're going to get a touch of gloves and then the action will be underway immediately. Here we go. Johnston, the clear bigger of the two, and lands a nice head kick to get things underway.
Yeah, the long southpaw stance. Lee trying to find his way in, trying to cover the distance. And a takedown attempt.
Straight away the takedown attempt. And a big fence grab though from Stevie Lee. I would thought the referee Phil DeFries might have called a stop to that there, because that ultimately, a low blow.
That is a very unfortunate opening to this fight. It looked like it was really warming into being a high pace fight.
As we said, a quick start of the contest. Stevie Lee now just getting a warning for that fence grab. And then both men look to trade knees up the middle. Johnston looking like he got caught low. Just taking his time here, which he has every right to do.
Oh, 100%. And Lee needs to be careful. He has already done a quite bad fence grab and a bad groin strike. He needs to just rein it in just a little bit. He doesn't want to put himself at risk of getting disqualified. Johnston taking his time, as he should, getting his breath back.
Johnston's corner now talking to Phil DeFries again about that fence grab. I think it's one of those that did change there. The floor, that takedown looked like it was very much on.
Yeah, and you can't blame the corner for that. And sometimes, as a corner, if you do make a point to the referee, it does kind of, at least you get confirmation from the ref that the next time they do it, they'll get a point deducted. And when the ref has said that, they kind of have to act on it.
Like we say, Tom Johnston doing exactly what he's entitled to do here and just taking as long as he needs. It looked like a hefty shot initially, obviously, from where they were backing into us, so we couldn't see just how clean it landed. But it looked like a hefty one.
Yeah, like obviously it's a bit unfortunate, like Johnston being the taller guy means Lee would have had to, obviously has to reach a bit higher up to actually knee the body.
And it's one of them, just 30 seconds in, or just over 30 seconds into the fight as well. It's not as if momentum was fully in one way or the other, is it? So it's not as if Johnston's using this as in he was injured and now he's sorting it out. But he looks like he's ready to go now.
Yeah, it looked like a bad one. It looked like it come up from underneath as well. They're always the worst.
Of course, the fighters are wearing cups, but they make little to no difference. Oh, big shots, here we go, just as I said. Stevie Lee almost urging him on, and you wonder if that is to try and draw him into a fist fight as opposed to trying to stay at range with these kicks.
Yeah, and obviously you feel kind of, I was about to say, you feel kind of bad for Johnston that Lee now definitely knows that Johnston will be looking for a takedown. But it was Lee who initiated that clinch there.
Good Johnston looking to stay long and rangy, bouncing into these shots, just falling short to Stevie Lee with that overhand right.
I think that's quite a smart approach, kind of threatening the takedown to get himself into range and then firing the punches on the break. That is a good way of getting his power close.
Johnston, though, with that point fighting style, the constant stance switching, it's so hard to deal with. But a nice body shot there from Lee, who nearly just ate a knee, now needs to watch his neck on this entry.
Definitely needs to watch his neck. Johnston is very good with these guillotine and front headlock attacks.
I mean, you can see why people say Lee fights like Gaethje, can't you? He's very happy to stand in the pocket and trade.
Yeah, 100%. Even has some like similar mannerisms and twitches and tells. Johnston doing a good job of catching Lee on the way in. It's just
Big shots there from Lee, but Johnston immediately back on it and getting the fight up against the cage. Sorry, Harry.
I was saying sometimes the shots that Johnston are landing are not, it don't seem to be enough to put Lee off sometimes. Beautiful knee. That was a really solid knee from Johnston as he presses Lee to the fence. It's interesting to see if Johnston does actually go for another takedown at any point. And a solid knee from Lee. And a spinning kick into a guillotine attempt. Into a right hand from Lee.
And this is what we thought this was going to be. Neither man particularly wanting to take a step back. Lee, I don't think, has so far in this. Again, he's more than happy. He seems more than happy, sorry, to take a shot to close the distance to get into this hand fighting range. And it looks like another low blow.
Hopefully we get a replay of that one.
Referee Phil DeFries just putting Lee in the neutral corner. We couldn't quite see from our position, as you say. Hopefully we'll get to see a replay of that. Lee there signaling the corner where he believes that knee landed. We couldn't quite see from our position.
Thing is, it was as Johnston was going for his own knee, so he was lifting his leg up. He'd have been particularly vulnerable at that time. I'm not sure if we're going to get a replay of this.
Without going into too much detail either, Harry, you're no stranger to getting hit in the cup. It's happened in several of your fights.
Yeah, it's not good, but I honestly don't think I've had it as bad as Johnston here. Because knees, while you're throwing knees, like, obviously Johnston's lifting his leg up to throw the knee, and without making some crap joke, he's making his Johnston very vulnerable to the return knee. But like, it is a very bad time to take a shot like that, because obviously as you're up on one leg, as one leg is stretching up, the cup's not fixed completely in place like it should be, so you are particularly vulnerable. I'm hoping we get a replay, but
Phil DeFries just having a word here with Stevie Lee. I'm not too sure what's being said, but again, Johnston can take his time here. If you're the other man then, if you are Johnston, if you are Stevie Lee, obviously Johnston's using this time to recover. If you're Lee, how do you keep yourself warm? How do you stay in the zone?
well, if this happens to me, I'm just like, right, this is my rest as well. I'm going to just, focus on my breathing and have my rest and make sure I'm ready to go when it restarts. Like, so I've seen many fighters, I've seen, like, it's got to them.
Stevie Lee, I think they're trying to urge Tom to get back to fighting, just getting a little bit off Phil DeFries there. Like you say, it's difficult to see, isn't it? But Johnston saying he's ready here. You wonder, even if they are accidental, if Lee lands with another one, could that be a point off?
Yeah, it might have to be at this point. Like, although I believe that they are accidental, the actual effect of the fouls could be considered. He very nearly rolling thundered Phil DeFries in the Johnston. Like, that was close. That was actually quite close.
Phil DeFries doing a good job there as the referee to get in the middle of that to prevent Johnston taking any damage.
It was very, very Gaethje-esque though, the fact the late round rolling thunders. It's kind of classic Gaethje.
If you're Stevie Lee's team here, are you telling them to abandon that knee?
Potentially, yes, because he's landed a few good ones in the clinch, but he is also putting himself at risk of losing the fight for your DQ. And I would tell him to go more with punches. Especially in those clinch situations, it seems like his punches have been landing better than his knees anyway. His knees have been... They've landed well, but when he's been going knee for knee with Johnston, it's been very even, whereas it seems like the punches are where Lee really has an advantage. Phil DeFries with not the greatest throw in the world.
Here we go, both men excited to get back underway, and here we go. Be interesting to see now how this round plays out, because there wasn't looking to clip it. Lee looking to clip Johnston there with the left hook on the exit. Johnston coming in with a knee of his own, that nearly catching Lee in the head.
Yeah, I don't want to see another break in the action. The action in this fight has been very good, very interesting. It's just been unfortunate that we've had a few breaks in the action in that first round.
Johnston a big fan of that spinning attack as well.
Yeah, and he gets a big reaction out of the fakes when he throws it as well. But the punches from Lee are solid. Takedown defense was solid there.
Lovely takedown defense. Now let's see what these two men can do on the ground.
He's going for that Dars, so that Anaconda. Looks like I feel like he will elect to throw an uppercut in a second. Oh no, he's going back to the front head attacks.
What does Johnston need to be doing to get himself out of this position?
He needs to be 2-on-1-ing one of the arms, which is going to be very difficult now. If it gets a bit more desperate, he needs to either go belly flat to the mat or back flat to the mat. This is very, very bad for Johnston, but he's managed to get out of it.
Good work from the tap-out knockout man. Lee deciding now whether he's going to let him stand back up. Will then look to dive in with a big strike on his way up. Johnston, I feel like half expecting that.
Yeah, Johnston did a fairly good job of defending himself from that strike. Lee just trying to get himself into good ground and pound positions, threatening the front headlock stuff.
Looking to step over, and he's in mount. And this is not where you want to be if you're Tom Johnston with a minute left on the clock. But he is very experienced.
He's very experienced, but he has a big hitter on
These
top
are some
of him.
big strikes from Stevie Lee, and it is all over. Stevie Lee gets a stoppage in this second round. And he continues his perfect record, extending it now to 3-0. And that's a big win for the MTK Newcastle man. And look, just as we watch a finish here, we'd already seen the power and the strikes of Lee early on, and now he gets the finish there in the second round.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously he's a big hitter on the feet. He's going to be able to generate that power in the ground and pound positions. Managed to get past the legs, past the guard of Johnston, and then when he got the mount, he just capitalized on that opportunity. As Johnston was turning to his side to escape, obviously inherently you present the side of your head and your chin as a target, and then Lee got some ruthless ground and pound here.
You could hear the strikes there where we're sitting here in the commentary booth.
Yeah.
Goes to 3-0 now, and that's a big, big win. But Tom Johnston will come again.
Oh,
right,
no,
ladies and gents, please put your hands together for both of our warriors inside the cage.
We'll now throw it to Nathan Reed for the official result.
We have your winner in the second round by way of TKO ground and pound. And your winner in the red corner, Stevie Lee.
And Stevie
Also,
Lee.
put your hands together for your runner-up, Tom Johnston.
And Stevie Lee takes it and moves to 3-0 as we see a big win. But Tom Johnston can hold his head high, and he will no doubt be back in the Rise and Conquer cage at some point.